kids. Once again, some of the video we are going to show you may not be for children or for yourself. Now, the Factor's been reporting, as you know, this week on the events happening in Texas, South Padre Island. Things are a bit different than when I was on spring break in the early 70s and when Geraldo was partying in the late 1940s. He joins
but what a party it
joins us now. Yeah, you in the World War II
the greatest
guys.
generation.
Absolutely. All right, now you have a 19-year-old son at the University of Miami. Is that still a party school, by the way, down there?
Well, less so. Donna Shalala, you know, the former Health and Human Services Secretary, is the president. She's really trying to make it a much different place.
You know, it's a place with a lot of socializing.
But the University of Miami is different because it's kind of spring break all the time. They could have that kind of party all the time.
Do you talk to your son about this kind of thing in the sense when they get into a situation, there's a lot of booze, a lot of drugs, a lot of girls, do you address it with them?
I absolutely address it with all, you know, a 27-year-old, 19, 14, 12, and now a 2-year-old. I tell my kids what my own rule has always been: never party with amateurs. That means spring break is a no-go, basically. St. Paddy's Day is a no-go. New Year's Eve is a no-go. Why? Because it's people who are basically shy or inhibited or really have not been out much. They use the occasion to get totally wasted drunk. This new phrase, hooking up, has become all the rage. Hooking up means that instead of a young couple making out, the girl is giving oral sex to the guy. So what I will be telling my daughters when they come of age, and what I tell my son now, is this is just a facade. Have your relationships. If you want to party, you don't have to get wasted drunk in a rum bath or a foam, you know, squeegee party, whatever it is. The girls will regret it, definitely, and the guys will. If you're driving drunk, you're going to have some kind of situation. I remember all the expos I did at 2020 of the guys driving through the Carolinas or Georgia and getting stopped in these speed traps and you know, ending up buying 4 new tires or going to jail for drinking while driving. It's the kind of thing, you know, what is she getting out of this? The guy with the video camera is obviously scoring big time. The guy made an industry out of Girls Gone Wild. But what is this person?
No, I don't know.
Going to get
and in 10 years from now, I don't know if she's going to want that video while she's working for IBM around in the office.
But, you know, I don't want to sound like a prude about this because I'm certainly haven't lived a prude's life. But group activities like this, generally speaking, you know, they don't do it for me. And I tell my children that too.
Okay, but there is a tremendous lure for American kids to go to these big parties, because there is.
And because there's a drinking age of 21.
Right.
So they go to escape the drinking limit.
And
where did you go? I didn't mean to interrupt.
Lauderdale. I was down with Connie Francis in Fort Lauderdale, and George Hamilton and I were there.
With the boys,
we went down and we had fun, but the difference between then, in the 70s, was there was a lot of booze, there was marijuana, and there was even LSD there. But the women...
Bill, are you telling us something?
No, I would never use that. So I'm much more.
Just want to get that clear.
Why do you think I'm so brilliant? I have every brain cell.
I see.
All right,
I see.
that's why.
God, I wonder what would have happened with me had I.
Yeah, you might be doing the Factor.
I could really. Be.
Okay,
I could be in your chair.
God.
In fact, I am in your chair on Saturday and Sunday.
God works in strange ways, Geraldo, and that's why I'm here. Anyway, the difference was that there were many more guys than girls down at Fort Lauderdale.
In those days, yeah.
The girls didn't want to be vomited upon. They weren't taking their clothes off. Even there were very few wet T-shirt contests or anything. They weren't doing any of that lascivious stuff. You never saw 2 girls doing what they do now for nothing. What has changed?
I really think it's this whole shifting moray and it goes under the guise of hooking up now. By giving it a cool name, what they do is tell women it's almost like a mandatory, you know, rite of passage. You have to be wild in your late teens or even your mid-teens. You've got to do whatever because soon you're going to be settled and
what
you're
about
the guys have always been
yeah, all right, but that's right. Guys have always going to get, they're going to get what they want to get. But the difference in the women is startling. Now, what about what I call the slut syndrome? Back then, if you hooked up or whatever you want to call it, you got a reputation. You got a reputation. You know that. I know. They're both raised in the New York area, tough area, but you did that. You were in that category. That I don't think exists anymore.
I don't either. And that's why when I take my daughters to their dance, and both of them already 6th grade and 8th grade, go to these Friday night dances, 7 o'clock it starts, I'm there at 7 o'clock, and I'm looking as tough as I can possibly look. I've got my arms swollen, I'm checking out the guys, I'm staring them in the face, those little punks. And at 9 o'clock when it ends, I'm there to pick them up. Why? Because I don't want there to be an occasion where they feel the pressure to indulge in the slut factor.
But there isn't a stigma for girls to behave this way any longer.
Well, I agree with you, and it's because of this whole hooking up thing.
No,
there's a new book, Unhooked, that I totally
I think it's the media. I think the media
you always
has
blame the message, though.
No, I do, because the message is so powerful in this country.
I think it's peer pressure.
No, they glamorize it. They have glamorized it. The media has glamorized it.
But do you think the video you've been showing really glamorizes
No,
that
not
number?
our video.
It's humiliating.
But if you look at VH1...
Some of those girls are going to grow up to be doctors and lawyers and Indian chiefs.
But if you look at VH1 and MTV and all of these things that the kids watch, and the internet too,
well, they are the ones, I believe
that
they do promote or at least report the promiscuous nature of this.
They glamorize it. They glamorize
Perhaps
it.
that as well, but I'm not sure that the glamorization is what does it. I think that Mary talks to Janie, who talks to Emily, and says, oh, come on, we're away from home, Mom will never see it, Professor Jones will never see it, I don't want to be left out, I want to have fun.
Naive. They can't be that naive, knowing what's on the internet, knowing in their schools that any indiscretion is then put on the internet.
Why do you think there's this buyer's regret, all these women suing Girls Gone Wild? It's because precisely they think they're doing something that's a spontaneous, ad hoc, special event in their life, and then they go home and then they realize it's on the movie,
they're getting pain.
Or it's
then the pain comes in.
Then the pain
you're going to sit there and you tell me you don't think that the media glorifies these activities?
I don't think
they do.
I think that you mix up cause and effect. I think that the media reports, and there may be some kind of subtle marketing, like advertising. You're advertising promiscuity as good, so there may be that incentive. But I think the basic impetus comes from a much deeper, social pressure than TV.
You're wrong, and I'm going to nail you right now with 2 words: Paris Hilton. Paris Hilton is famous for being lively. No other talent. Girls see that. Rewarded for bad behavior.
I think that Paris Hilton is a brilliant marketer. She has made bad behavior a commodity.
Rewarded by the media for bad behavior, and that message gets through. Geraldo Rivera, check him out. 8 Saturday and Sunday.
I can get my T-shirt.
He's in the factor chair. 8 Saturday and Sunday, everybody. All right, always good to see you.
You too.
Thank you. Just a few moments. The Factor TV icon of the week. Here's another hint. He is an Oscar winner as well. Right back with it.
The race is on.
Ever win $10,000 or a fabulous free